Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This podcast is going to be a little bit different because, well, this week I found out how fucking on fire the world actually is, and I have no desire to talk about anything that has happened over the past, 2 years. So, we're actually going to take a bit of a trip back into history.
Birth of his second child,
did nothing. He never wants to talk about that.
Yeah, I mean, I legitimately don't want to talk about that because, look, being in the room with a C-section, that is not fucking pleasant. Like, yes, my son was born that day, but I don't want to revisit
Sounds
that.
pretty fucking...
No, your son was retrieved.
Yes, retrieved. He
wasn't born, he was retrieved.
Yeah, he was a preemie, so the Amazon delivery drone showed up a bit earlier than I was actually expecting to drop him off, and yeah.
I would say he was taken that day.
Taken.
Oh.
Straight tooken.
Straight tooken.
With a special set of programming.
Yeah.
I don't know. Something Liam Neeson.
Yeah.
Liam Neeson. No, this will be going up on the main podcast channel, but primarily this is an episode for my secondary channel, so welcome to the Viper's Nest, where we talk about obscure lore, and
You mean obscure real-life history?
yeah, which we're going to be talking about something that has actually become obscure, which I feel like should not have. So, Noodle, I know you've professed at a few points that you have at least a passing interest in things like serial killers and cult leaders and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, I find it extremely fascinating. I think a lot of people do.
Yeah.
But I don't think I'm special.
Yeah,
It's
so let me ask you this question then. What do you know about the Jack the Ripper murders?
Almost nothing, because no one actually knows anything. They're just making the best educated historical
Well, that's why I
guesses.
specifically asked about the Jack the Ripper murders and not Jack the Ripper, him, her,
Yeah,
or their self.
It was women, and weren't
Hookers.
they mostly prostitutes?
They were almost
and
all hookers.
he just absolutely mutilated them.
Yes.
Hence the name the Ripper.
But surgical precision.
So that's was it surgical precision?
It was.
So-
That's what made it very confusing. Is
Okay.
a random dude was this is like the mid 1800s.
1888.
So the late 1800s, I guess. But having surgical precision kind of narrowed down the list to a very small amount of people at that time.
I know.
Area too.
Yeah, I know that there are like theories on who it was, but there's like a possible list of an amount of people.
Yeah, it wasn't like a
it was
liver
just-
torn out of a stomach. It was like a liver surgically removed from a body, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. Well, you would be surprised how many people don't even know that much about it in this day and age, which is shocking to me given the...
Because no one ever really thinks about it. It's Jack the Ripper. We're already freaks. That's why we think about shit like this.
That is very true,
Yeah.
but given the impact on fiction alone that Jack the Ripper still has to this day,
You would
you would think more people would
I feel like he's faded more compared to the Zodiac Killer. That's one of the more
the Zodiac
popular.
Killer was also a lot more recent. That was what, the
I know, that's
60s?
why he's more popular.
I thought that was Ted Cruz.
Got political.
Sorry.
Except it's not political. We're talking about an individual private citizen named Ted Cruz.
Remember that time Ted Cruz had a tonsil stone pop out on his lip and then he just ate it while he was talking?
I thought that was a snot globule.
No, it was on camera. A tonsil stone flew out and stuck to his lip, and then he went "Nom," and just ate it.
God.
What would you have done?
That's pretty hardcore.
Yeah. When you're, you know what?
I mean, you
could
could take a dignified napkin wipe and just be like, "Excuse me,"
Or just
and
go.
That's it.
Or just go, puh.
Yeah.
But
And
on
you know what?
stage
It
at a
makes you look
debate-
more human to the voters.
Or you could, I don't know, just maybe, do this number, you're scratching an itch and then, covertly wipe it and, drop it on the floor behind the podium.
But if you're
People
aware
would-
of how
people
visible
would
it
have caught
is,
it.
you have to act different. If you know everyone saw that, your next action
People would have
is
caught it
much
one way or
more
another.
calculated or trying to be calculated. If you go "Put," and you know there's something on your face in front of live national news, you get
This is
weird
already
with it.
gone off the rails.
Yeah,
Anyways.
yeah.
That's
I know.
okay.
Anyways.
So we've already confirmed that Ted Cruz is the
So,
Zodiac.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So we know that much.
Yeah.
But what about
He's
Rack the Jipper?
Jack the
Probably
Ripper.
not Ted Cruz.
You know what? I'm willing to believe either way, man. The truth is out there. I want to believe.
Well, Jack Ripper,
Shut the fuck up.
Ted Cruz.
You don't get to talk anymore.
Ted Cruz doesn't have an ageless quality about him. You can look at him throughout his life.
I wonder if
He ages like Ted Cruz.
I wonder if that got picked up on the microphone. Actually, it's probably not Ted Cruz. Like, yeah, no shit. Shut the fuck.
Thank you for your invaluable input.
Yes.
Fucking asshole.
I mean, look, at the rate we're going here, I mean, we're going to solve the Ripper murders tonight with that kind of
Through
high
process of
intellectual.
elimination.
Process of
if we have Dilly
process
Bear's
of
input,
intoxication.
So, I think it was Francis Tumbletti. That actually probably wasn't Francis Tumbletti. Which that actually is the name of one of the actual Jack the Ripper suspects. I could do an entire episode just on Francis Tumbletti. He's a fucking weirdo. But yeah, no, I like. There's so much we could go through on Jack the Ripper. I think we're probably just gonna like hit the highlights of like the where, the who, some of the evidence, and then some of the theories.
well, I'm absolutely. It's been a while since I've watched like fucking Rob Dyke's video on Jack the Ripper. So.
Yeah.
He's Rob Gavigan now. For the viewers who are curious, he goes by Rob Gavigan on YouTube.
No,
Used to be
he
Rob
was
Dyke.
but in any case,
Interesting.
so it's been a while since I've.
His video is
brushed up.
probably going to be much better than this one is.
No, it always is.
I don't know.
He does research
we already
and-
we have Dylan here, and he is just
Fair.
fucking nailing it.
Fair point.
Just great input.
Very true.
Probably not Ted Cruz.
Yeah.
Fuck.
So, Jack the Ripper, or more properly, the Ripper murders, took place in the summer of 1888 in the Whitechapel and Spitalfields district of London's East End. And we know that the Ripper, whoever they may have been, are responsible for at least 5 murders, given that these murders were all committed in the same fashion. I'm not going to go too into detail because, I mean, they're pretty fucking horrific.
Why not? Go into detail.
Well, I mean...
They've already been... There's no money on YouTube from this series.
Yeah, no, there's not. I mean, there really wasn't.
He has eviscerated and mutilated the bodies of women.
Yes, he did. He killed these main 5, and... Come on, phone. I'm going to give out the names of these 5 because that just seems like the right thing to do. So
The victims should be remembered more.
Yes.
That's for sure.
So these are referred to as the canonical 5 Ripper victims, were Marianne Nichols, Annie Chapman, Elizabeth Stride, Catherine Eddowes, and Mary Jane Kelly. And we do know that all 5 of these women were working girls.
Prostitutes.
Prostitutes. They were prostitutes. But they were all killed via slashed throat, and then they were disemboweled. Organs were taken, and some...
Especially reproductive organs.
Yeah, reproductive organs were mutilated and or harvested. There are crime scene photos of these. Look them up at your own peril, because, I mean, at this point, I'm pretty hardened against violence, but these were... I mean, yeah, they're black and white.
When you know they're real, it seems more real. Weirdly enough.
Also, you use the word harvested, which is 100% the right word, but also is just such a worse word when you could have said taken.
Tooken.
Or something. Yeah,
Yeah.
tooken.
No, it matches the depravity of his crimes. He harvested those organs.
It does. It just somehow makes it sound...
It does kind of make it worse. Like, just, like, taken, ripped out, also don't really do justice to it, because, like Jimbo said, they were taken
bad.
with surgical precision, amidst all the other god-awful mutilations that the Ripper inflicted on his victims.
It makes me think of, like a corn harvester. And,
think children of the corn, and you'll be on the right track.
Yeah, on the way.
Yeah.
Anyways.
So anyway, those are referred to as the canonical 5. Those are the ones that we know the Ripper did.
Definitively, without any sort of...
Yeah.
I mean, there's plenty of others with a little bit of suspicion. It's
Yeah, because
there probably is.
Also, at the time in 1888, London's East End, to put it politely, was impoverished, but to be less charitable, it was a fucking hellhole of a place.
Yeah.
So there were people dying left and right. So the Ripper could have had other victims, numbering possibly in the dozens that are just unconfirmed. Like in one of the 3 famous letters that the Ripper sent to like taunt the police and the newspapers, he did admit to like multiple times not being able to finish what he wanted to do because he knew like police were nearby, so he had to just do the deed and then bounce.
Dip out rather than do like the weird, almost orchestrated performance of arranging the organs outside of the body.
Yeah, which is also a thing he or she definitely did. I'm just gonna refer to the Ripper as them because we actually have like no confirmation whether it was a he or a she. There are even theories that the Ripper might have been multiple persons. We just don't know.
I think realistically, if it was a single person,
or copycats,
I find it hard that a woman overpowered several women in a row by herself.
Well, you also got to remember...
Could have been a big bitch.
Yeah.
I mean, it could have been, but then that's way more noticeable.
And also at the time, especially in a place like London's East End in the 1880s...
Where no one's paying the fuck attention.
Like, no one's paying attention, and also, like, women had to do, close to, if not as much, like, actual hard labor as the men. So, there was some strong women in those streets.
There was some real gender equality, and they had to work in the fucking mills.
Yeah, right. Women are weak. All women are weak, and that is approved by this podcast, and everybody in it, inclinging Dylan, who has spoken.
He has spoken.
We all say
That's a Mandalorian reference.
we actually say it all the time. We say women are weak and suck, and we don't mean that in a sexual way.
No,
like they suck. They just fucking suck. So just women in general.
No, you're really raising the quality.
Yep. I mean, if this had any hope of getting monetized, it sure shit doesn't now.
Oh, dude, no, there was no hope after I.
There is now negative hope.
Negative hope. Oh shit.
Or somebody will, some super woke person will listen to it and get mad, and then we'll blow the fuck up. Huh?
Fair.
Huh?
Yeah.
Huh?
And then there will be a countrywide witch hunt for us, which will be hilarious because we're in Alaska and. Good luck.
Yeah, but we've definitely talked about the fact that
where we are, who we went to school with, where we went to school.
They don't have coordinates, but
I have yet to not do any of that.
Well, they know you're near us.
Yeah.
So
they know you're here every Friday night.
You know what? What is the address for where you're staying at, by the way?
I was sending you a package. Indigo.
1428 Elm Street?
Yeah, there you go.
Anyways, Jack the Ripper was epic, so go on.
I mean, epic is definitely one way to put it. Like I said, his cultural impact still lasts to this day.
Well, he's like Mr. Ollivander. I mean, he did great things. Terrible, but great.
Yeah, things that were felt the world over. I mean, the last time I heard of Jack the Ripper being in like modern media was actually in one of the Assassin's Creed games that came out a couple of years back. There was a DLC where you actually played as Jack the Ripper for half the campaign.
Okay.
Yeah, it was like
wait, is Jack the Ripper canonically an assassin, or like what's the deal?
In that particular DLC, he was.
Is he like a wild assassin who lost his shit, or is he just associated with that group?
He was a child who was getting trained to be an assassin, but his mental instability left.
As a child?
Well, I mean, he was like by the time he was left or booted out, I think he was like a young adult when
like 17 to like 20-ish.
Yeah, like the game actually like goes out of the way to like make sure that other than like he had some training with the assassins, you still don't know who he is, to the point that the main character who eventually catches him in the end straight up admits to like, I have no fucking clue who you are, and he was like, yeah, well, that was kind of the point, wasn't it? I could have been anybody.
Was Jack the Ripper in League of Extraordinary Gentlemen?
No, that was Mr. Hyde you're probably thinking about.
I know that. I think that's what was making me think it. I knew Mr. Hyde was in it.
Yeah.
I mean, Mr. Hyde might, at least in that universe, might have been the inspiration or the source for the Jack the Ripper thing. 'Cause I remember him saying something a little too chummy with the idea for it to not maybe.
Oh yeah, Mr. Hyde straight up admitted to eating people. So.
Well, but that's the thing. In the Jack the Ripper there were no missing organs.
Yeah, there was. He took some organs. He did at least confirm to have taken a kidney.
Okay, okay. I thought the whole thing that was really weird about him is that he completely eviscerated people, but he didn't take anything.
No,
so it was like, someone ripped this body apart, but it's all still here.
Yeah, he took a few things. I know.
We can rebuild her.
Oh
Strong.
God.
The $6 billion woman.
No, he did take a liver, a kidney, and in one of his taunting letters alluded to the fact that he was going to take an ear, but didn't get the chance because the police were too.
I feel like that letter is a fake one because that's not an organ.
Well, that's
not an organ.
No, but that's another thing to talk about is the taunting letters that he sent to the police. There were
supposedly.
Yeah, supposedly.
Allegedly.
Well, that was the thing. The most famous letters were the Dear Boss letter, the Saucy Jack postcard, and most famously the From Hell letter. Have been analyzed to death basically, and they modern science has almost pretty much 99.9% confirmed those 3 letters in particular were written by the same person, and the From Hell letter was the one that came in the post with half of a preserved kidney. Which, I mean...
A preserved kidney or a already rotting kidney?
I don't know. They don't have any pictures of the kidney itself, but it was probably, put in, a jar of formaldehyde or some shit like that. Yeah, he sent that one to the letter, and that coincides with the fact that a kidney was missing from one of the Canonical 5 victims. But there were hundreds of letters sent to, various newspapers from people claiming to be the killer because human beings are fucking weird and they do shit like that. But those 3 letters I just listed are 99.9% confirmed to have come from the Ripper themselves. Which, I mean, also, I guess, good on them for actually giving themselves their own, trade name, because, I'd have to look...
to be fair, Jack the Ripper was applied to them by the Post.
Yeah, because of one of the letters that they sent. I'll have to find which one it was, but they signed it as The Ripper, and then in a little postscript, literally said something along the lines of, I hope you don't mind me giving myself the trade name. Which then got out, and people started referring to him as the killer, because originally they just called him the Whitechapel Murderer or the Leather Apron, due to some witnesses who think they saw somebody wearing a leather apron like a butcher would wear around the estimated time that one of the Canonical 5 murders happened. But the letters in and of themselves are
and depending on who you talk to, this is why it's so hard, is that the crime happened a ridiculously amount of time ago, but the cultural focus on it hasn't faded too much. It's been so long, but it's still been sticking around, and there have been people who have definitely, what's the word? Figured out who he could have possibly been off of the list of names available.
Yeah.
Or just anyone in the census around that had certain training or experience they could do. There is literally a very large group of people who think they know who Jack the Ripper is.
Yep. Trying to find which letter it was that was signed as the Ripper. Okay, it was the first letter, the Dear Boss letter.
Go on, you're good.
Oh, okay.
I'm just bullying.
The letter.
Make him smoke some weed.
No.
Trying to make him smoke some weed.
No, I'm just stealing his weed and bullying him, and I'm not.
It's like an almost dead roach.
Go on, Andy.
Oh, yeah. The letters in and of themselves were very interesting because, like I said, they were pretty much confirmed at this point to be written by the same person. But the first 2, the Dear Boss letter and the Saucy Jack postcard, were written with proper spelling and what was proper grammar for the time the letters and the postcard were sent. But the most famous one, the From Hell letter, was rife with fucking grammatical errors and typos and shit, even though, like I said, it was almost confirmed to be written by the same person, which leads a lot of people to think that whoever the Ripper might have been that they could possibly have been suffering from like some sort of degenerative brain disease or some shit.
Oh, well, maybe.
I mean, that's why he's
You could
tearing
say-
girls' bodies apart and taking.
Yeah,
First off, they never published the letters in the Post or anything at all, right?
The Dear Boss letter was leaked to the Post, but the Saucy Jack postcard and the From Hell letter were hung on to until much later in the investigation.
Okay, because I would say if one was leaked, somebody could potentially, like, kind of copy the style of handwriting.
Yeah, I mean that.
Potentially.
Yeah, potentially that would have been a difficult thing to do back then, and would not have stood up to like
There were
today's
professional
scrutiny.
forgeries who made fortunes off of that kind of stuff.
Oh,
yeah,
I know,
but
but-
why would a professional forger do that?
For a lot of
From
money.
just-
That's what?
Yeah,
what else
what-
would they do it for?
How would they have got a lot of money from that?
He's a professionally trained surgeon, which, by the way, at the time is
What the
very
fuck
fucking rare.
No, if this was a fucking professional forger who was just writing.
No,
a
I mean,
letter,
like
plus
Jack
a
the Ripper got
professional
hold of.
forger.
Wait, oh wow, yeah, never mind.
Yeah,
Why
you're
would
switching
they
around.
say something
Plus, a
first
professional
themselves?
forger back in the day would probably be like, "Oh, he talks this way and spells this way, and I can write it very similar, but I don't know how to fucking spell." Like,
Yeah,
of course, a professional forger would.
and
know how to
also like the
spell.
forgery techniques of 1888 would not stand up to like the modern forensic
Today's
sciences
standards.
we have for like analyzing that kind of shit.
It may have
nowadays.
back then, but
Yeah, back then, but definitely not today. And the last time someone like took a good hard look at the letters was, I think, either 2017 or 2018. So like we would be able to tell if it was a forgery.
Or could we? I mean, like that's the problem though. Like we think we got all that shit answered by like our analyzation. Like, but at the same time, maybe
pretty
it was.
accurate.
Well, I mean, it can be.
I'll tell you what, nobody.
There's a reason why we're talking about it right now. It's because we don't know.
Yeah, we don't
Yeah.
know.
That's
But-
literally the point I'm trying to make.
I'll tell you what, nobody would ever be able to forge my. Actually, anybody could forge my signature because it's just scribbles.
Yeah.
And like, there's like the big E scribble, big H scribble.
But how do you make
And-
the curve on that H?
Oh,
maybe?
it's different constantly.
Yeah.
Like
No,
when
you
I do it.
feel it is, but you're doing it differently in your own style, and your
Oh,
own style is able to be identified.
Maybe, yeah, but like, still, there are times where like I do it nicer, like because
Yeah.
I have to sign stuff all the time at work now, and there are times where I do it nicer, and there's times where it's like I have to do all these fucking time clock corrections, and I need to get them done quickly because I have other stuff to do, and I have to sign them, and it's just like. I might start out doing it well, and by the end, I'm not even making an E and an H. It's just fucking scribbles,
Yeah.
space
Yeah.
scribbles.
And like even
And-
20 years ago, like back in the mid 90s, we had like people who could like put like a forgery and like your actual signature like under a microscope, and just based on like the pressure applied to the paper and the way like a curve might have been, they could like straight up tell exactly how you were holding the pen when
Like
you wrote
this
that
Yeah.
pressure
signature.
point,
Yeah.
this moment in the letter seems intentional rather than reflection or reflexive.
Yeah.
Like they intentionally try to draw harder here, but we could tell that because there's one point where they press harder than usual or whatever.
Yeah. But no, I personally don't subscribe to the theory that the Ripper was like suffering from a degenerative brain disease, because he, she, or they were fucking smart. Like by the time they got to the third canonical murder, like all of fucking Whitechapel was on the lookout for this person, and he still managed to like get in and out for the next two canonical murders
Yeah.
without being fucking seen by like anybody.
You know what's the real problem about all of this? Like, how many other, like, calls in for criminal activity and other shit going on at the same time that his murders were, like, reported?
Oh, yeah, I mean,
There could have been, like,
Tons.
700 other things in the same day.
yeah, but I mean, it wasn't just the police that was looking for the Ripper. By the time of the third murder, at least like all of the working girls were like trying to stick together and keep an eye on each other. Plus,
they got razor blades in their fucking bras, and also because the entire neighborhood's probably like, "Don't kill my girl Sandra, I'ma get you."
Yeah, like I mean, fear of death is gonna bring people together like nothing else, essentially, especially in a place like 1888 Whitechapel.
East Whitechapel.
Yeah, and I mean also. Literally everyone was looking for him because I mean, if you could be the person that caught Jack the Ripper as well, like you'd be getting paid, and
you're gonna go down in history as the person who caught the Ripper.
Yeah, exactly. So everyone's on the lookout for him.
Yeah. So
that brings up the scary possibility that he was inhumanly charismatic.
Or he was a cop or something.
Yeah, one of the theories is that he was also a cop, which is how he would like know the movements of the other cops in and around.
But that would mean that the
patrols.
cops know his exact movements or know exactly when there's discrepancies. So I don't
not necessarily.
or at least nearly like they would be able to investigate one of their own a lot closer than.
I would say that they were probably less likely, especially back then, to investigate one of their own.
Well, I mean, especially back then, then they probably would be more likely to.
And even if they were to, it would be super hush-hush because they wouldn't want people to think, like,
this isn't modern day.
Yeah.
Back in the day, cops used to get fucking murdered for not being good cops. Like, that doesn't happen.
Yeah, and also given that back then, like, we didn't have, like, a handy-dandy, like, GPS or time clock we could pull up on the computer. You would have to actually, like, go through, like, all of the paperwork and shit and be like, alright, so, like, Jimmy Jones Johnson here.
Roughly at 6:30 a.m.
Yeah, was,
roughly.
was on the clock at this point, and his patrol route was over here, and it was confirmed he was by himself, so maybe there's a chance, but also, Robbie Van Dam was working that beat at this particular time, so either one of them could have been in the vicinity during the time of the murder, but oh wait, Robbie Van Dam does have like multiple eyewitness accounts of him being at the fucking pub or something like that. It's a much harder process to investigate. Like,
it would have been cool to be a cop back in the day.
It would have been fucking difficult too.
Just no fucking. Well,
no, it would have been easy.
It would have been cool.
You just would have been wrong more or less.
It would have been cool to be a shitty cop back in the day. There's like no like you just said. That's like there's multiple reports. He just went to the fucking pub, and there's like it's not like anybody can take a picture of you there or anything. So even if anybody says anything,
it's the cop's word against most random fucko from Whitechapel.
Yeah, and most of the time, those people aren't going to anyways because they're just going to be like,
fucking worth
hey, I'm fucking drinking with a cop. And then also, that cop could get angry and get his cop buddies and just beat you up with no repercussions.
Yeah, and then...
Actually,
it is kind of similar
to
that.
Evan, that didn't actually happen as much as you think it did. Like, cops got fucking hurt for doing that kind of shit. Like, this isn't...
I'm sure it happened.
And
obviously,
like, they didn't used to have the ultimate authority people think they do now. Like, if like a cop came in and started doing that shit in like Whitechapel, an inn, he would get beat to death. And then maybe later someone would be like, a cop died here.
He just came in. No, he just went in. He probably had buddies there. Maybe he was even from there.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Well, I'm just saying, like, the abilities and the immunity of, like, law enforcement were not nearly as ironclad as they are now.
But like the fear of reprisal was definitely like probably something close to like it was today. Like, say some good cop like fucked up once, got beat to death in Whitechapel. That could bring like the whole force of London into Whitechapel to find the person who did that.
Yeah, but they know who's not and who is a good cop because they're Whitechapel.
You keep saying stuff about like it's not like it is today where like cops don't get fucking held accountable today. If anything, it's worse today than it's ever been.
No, it's because like they have to be some. I mean, well, with the Uvalde shooting, this kind of changes things. Up until like 3 weeks ago, there is camera, even just photo footage, just a picture you can say it's photoshopped. Even that weak evidence didn't exist at the time. So, like...
Yeah, so you could get away with more.
Yeah. And also, the cops
What I
weren't
was saying the whole
seen
fucking time.
as immune to every law ever, especially in England.
So,
Like,
quick segue into something I learned last week, actually. There's a guy on YouTube who is a lawyer and makes content like he actually did a hilarious episode about the trial of Frank Castle
Is
in
he
the
Mike?
Daredevil TV show. No,
Yeah.
Okay, yeah,
It's
it's
Lawyer
that guy
Mike.
who's like,
no, it's Mike. I don't think his name's Mike.
or Legal Eagle. His
Him.
name is Mike.
Yeah, okay, yeah,
I
that
watch him
guy.
a lot. His name is Mike.
Yeah, that guy did a informative but also kind of scary breakdown about why a lawsuit against the cops who didn't go into the school is probably going to fail.
yeah.
What?
Due to some very
Also, they were in the school.
in the school.
Oh, no, I
that's
mean-
the thing. There's pictures coming out now where they were in the school.
Yes.
And they were told to wait or something, or they decided to wait. But it was a full hour they were in the school from the school's CCTV and just doing nothing.
Okay, so I don't know
I don't know. We don't need to get into that.
No,
We're
we
talking about
should.
Jack the Ripper.
Yeah, point is that might have changed, but due to some the way the laws of the country are written, that it is not necessarily the cops' duty to risk their life for you, which is fucking terrifying.
But it should.
It should be, yes,
what the-
but it's not.
But that's what we were told for decades. And all of a sudden, the government's like, "Ah, we lied to you."
Well, I don't think it's all of a sudden.
Yeah,
I
they
think
didn't
it's just
come out and
always been a
say it.
thing.
No, their official statement up until recently is cops are here to protect you, and all of a sudden
protect
they're
and
not.
serve.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
All of a sudden,
Protect
very,
what?
very
Protect
recently.
you? No, they're to protect property.
yeah, just go
No,
to
no, we know, but their official stance went from protect and serve the public to, nah, we're here. That's their official stance, not their effective stance.
just
Their official stance is fuck you guys.
just go to Legal Eagle's channel and find that video because it's informative and fucking terrifying at the same time. And he will explain it better than I ever did because he is an actual lawyer.
Wow.
But yeah, Jack the Ripper.
Long story short, we're all fucked. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, pretty much. But yeah, the one theory is Jack the Ripper could have been a cop, which is why he was so informed on the
routes.
Yep. And
How he knew, when he killed the other ones he didn't harvest from,
But
I
that
know there are
part
cops nearby and I
doesn't-
need to get the fuck out of here.
yeah,
But that part doesn't matter as much as his knowledge in taking a human body apart. That skill was extremely rare at the time. That has nothing you could be a cop no matter who you are, as long as you're not the drunkard of the village or whatever.
Yeah.
It's not about him being a cop. It's about how the fuck was he able to take apart these bodies this precisely?
Yep.
That narrows it down to a very short list of, a couple hundred, dozens. I mean, short compared to the population of England at the time.
Yeah, that's the prevailing theory is that he was a surgeon of some form.
Yeah,
But,
because he had surgical precision.
Yeah. But if you take the Ripper letters at face value, I think it was the Dear Boss letter, after they published some of the details about the murder and how some medical knowledge might have been involved, he literally taunted the editor of the newspaper saying, "Thanks for that bit about me being a doctor. That gave me a real laugh."
Yeah, because he's not a doctor anymore. That's probably why he thought it was funny.
I mean, yeah, but
Or it's misdirection.
yeah, it could be misdirection, but I read the letters fairly recently, and if they're misdirection, they're really fucking good ones because the Ripper seemed to know that those letters were not going to make it into the press, and they were specifically to taunt the head of the newspaper and the cops specifically. They are pretty much accepted to not be a fear tactic of being hey, look, can't catch me, fuckos, put this in your newspaper.
I'm fucking crazy and I'm gonna kill more of you.
Yeah, which he did say he was going to do is yep, my work is not done. I am after the hookers.
Man,
I just feel like it's
You
a
gotta
little
fuck
bit
with
more.
the
I feel
hookers.
like it's a little bit more
it's trying to
outlandish.
fuck people.
Yeah.
For him
They're
to.
just easy prey.
Yeah, specifically, in London's East End. At the
Yeah.
time, it's
Yeah.
they're everywhere.
Well, I would say that in even today, if you wanted to kill someone, a prostitute is a good one that wouldn't be like.
Not around here, dude. There's not that many.
Well, yeah, we live in shithole, baguette hole.
Yeah.
But
in a place like London. You know?
Yeah, if you were in a city and like you pick up a hooker and she doesn't come back, like I don't know. As long as you make sure if there's any others around that they don't get a good look at your face and you got a place to. I don't know. I've seen too many killer documentaries, so I know too much about how you have to.
Yeah, it'd be both easier and harder in modern day because things like the internet and Craigslist exist and be like like message you, meet me here at this time, and just make sure you don't use an email address or any other identifier that's somehow tied to you, and then they go to place and baguette. I mean, you still have to make sure there's no CCTV or other security around, which is all over the place nowadays, but it's still doable because people still fucking do it.
Yeah. In any case.
Yes. So the Ripper being a surgeon it's the most accepted theory, I think, given how
probably the most probable.
Yeah, the most probable
it's
as
the
well.
Most in the 1800s, you don't just learn surgical precision. That's not a thing you get good at.
Well,
you have to be taught that.
Yes, I mean, a lot of the accepted suspects for the Ripper, not all of them were recognized doctors, but a lot of them had medical experience. Like the one I mentioned earlier, Francis Tumbletti, was actually living in America during the Civil War, where he essentially operated as a sawbones, and he had no actual documented medical license. He learned his practice during the fucking war.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. It's either a license or experience, and that still narrows it down to a very small list comparatively to every other possible list.
Yeah, comparatively, but sawboneses were not uncommon back then, especially with things like the Civil War on. So it's still a big suspect pool, but a lot smaller than most people probably think it is.
The Civil War is in Britain. What the fuck?
Well, I mean, during the Civil War...
That's where one of the guys was during the Civil War, and then apparently...
Yeah, he...
No, he said it was hard during this. It was this was Britain, though.
Yeah, I mean, the Civil War didn't stop people from coming and going from the United States. I mean, trade was still open at that point.
No, I thought you said it was hard for that to happen because the Civil War was happening.
No, I meant it was easy for somebody to get medical training because the Civil War was on, and the Civil War is
But this is Britain!
Yeah, British people came to America all the fucking time back then.
And
not during the Civil...
This one guy also was in America during the Civil War and then went back to England. That's what he's talking about.
Yeah.
Wish you would have said that.
I did.
You did.
I did say that.
The one random British person who came back.
Well, also...
started chopping up hooker. Also, was this... Because the Civil War only lasted 4 years. It was 1961 to 1966, or 65.
Yeah.
Was that the murder, the timeline of all of the murders?
No.
Was 61 to 65?
No, the murders were in 1888, almost 20 years later.
So he's an old man.
Well, he was a younger man during the Civil War.
Yeah,
so
years later,
maybe
old man.
45.
At the least,
20 years
the smallest estimation of his age, he's barely 40.
Even a 50-year-old man can fucking... Even a 50-year-old woman can cut... Anybody can kill anybody if they...
But how quickly you can cover up an entire scene and get rid of everything?
50-year-old man in good shape? There are 50-year-old men in better shape than me.
Yeah, now. 1890s.
Even back then there was.
I'm just saying, man. Dude was a surgeon.
Yeah, most likely. But
yes!
We're just talking about all the potential things.
Oh, well then there's 10 million potential
I'm
things.
gonna rip out one of your beard hairs.
Fucking do it.
Just one.
Here.
Just one single
Just come
beard.
take it. I'm
many.
offering
That's
it to you.
too many.
How
You're
about this
grabbing.
one?
You're
How about-
grabbing several. I don't want to rip several.
How about you come grab one then?
Alright. Let me get it.
A single. If I feel
Let
a
me get it with my
single.
teeth. I'm gonna go high cheekbone because they're more sparse. No, I'm not gonna rip out.
Yeah,
your
that's
hair.
what I fucking thought. Stop it.
Yeah, Francis Tombletti would have been in his mid-50s during the time of the Ripper murders.
And I don't know about a late 1800s and mid-50s man being able to evacuate every possible crime scene, no matter how intense what he thought was the cops behind him. Like, we're not talking about a spry 50-year-old man who's been on fucking like P90X and is like in good shape.
No, like he wouldn't have been.
We're talking about West. What was it again? Something light, something candle, something torch.
What?
White Castle.
Whitechapel.
Whitechapel, yeah. An Eastern Whitechapel middle-aged man was able to pull this shit off without ever being caught.
I mean, it's still possible, man. I mean, he would. If it was Francis Tombletti, which we still don't know it is, he was just one of the prime suspects. I mean, he from what I read about him, like, he wasn't idle. Like, he worked hard so his entire life. So he would have been a fit 50-year-old man at the time. Like, yes, lifespans were not what they are now, but, like, hardworking people either end up broken down or in fucking fantastic, like, Vince McMahon shape.
I mean, it's McMahon now.
Oh, okay, not like...
You're saying... This is not 10, 15 years ago. You gotta move yourself to 2022.
Well, like, I don't remember when I
Because I do remember Vince McMahon fucking powerbombing Chris Jericho. I was there.
Yeah, and, like, fairly recently, like, within the last 5 or 6 years, he was on the cover of a magazine, like, doing a flex, and, like, I mean, yeah...
Because that's all he has.
Yeah, like, he's obviously old, but, like... Dude, I'm like, if I could be in that kind of shape at his age, fuck yeah.
No, he goes like, oh, fuck, I don't do anything other than yell at wrestlers on TV.
Anyways.
Yeah. Point is, Francis Tombletti was probably in good shape during the time, if he was the murderer, which, still unconfirmed. He is, as far as we know, he was not. Good chance he would have been, though.
I'm going for someone certified in medical anything. That's what I go for.
Yeah, certified in medical anything is probably a good guess. I mean
out of war medical certification.
Yeah, there's also, I mean, we do also have to consider the fact that the Ripper was possibly more than one person. One of whom maybe had medical training, and the other was doing the
then it's no longer a string of murders. It's just several different people killed
that they were working
near each other.
Yeah, I mean, if they were working together, then...
Yes, a bunch of different people decided to kill a shit ton of hookers all around the same-ish time.
Not a bunch, maybe 2.
Or 5.
2 to 3.
I mean, look, there was a lot of dead hookers in 1888 Whitechapel.
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm like, you sure different people? Like,
well, I mean,
even if it is different people, I'm sure there's like Jack the Ripper going like, we're gonna get these hookers, those dirty whores. They're ruining the fabric of society.
I mean, a lot of people did think...
I didn't mean to slip into GOP stuff. My bad.
No, I mean, a lot of people did think like that back then, and especially back then, like, it's probably still true now, but especially back then, like, the noble class, they got into some weird shit back then.
Oh, some really weird shit. From what
Yeah, some real weird shit. So it could have been a couple of nobles, and if they were nobles, odds are good that at least one of them might have been a doctor of some form. So the doctor partner could have been the one who killed the Canonical Five, and then the possibly non-trained medic could have been the ones who were just like, and cut the throat, and I'm out.
Sure. But also, Jack the Ripper. That's all I got,
True.
man. No,
I mean, fair.
The reason why we're talking about it is that, like, no one knows.
Yeah.
Literally no one will ever know. It's been too long.
Yep, it's been too long, and
The guy who could have possibly done it has been dead and his name lost to the annals of time. Like, it's fucking done.
Yeah, I mean, until someone invents time travel, we're never gonna know who Jack the Ripper was or why they did what they did. Which is honestly what I think makes it so fucking fascinating, because, like, you think about other serial killers, like, I was gonna say Charles Manson. He had
reasons. There was a whole thing.
Yeah, I mean,
I think there was didn't Charles Manson not actually kill anybody? He just
He
convinced
forced
people
/ convinced.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
kill people
convinced
for him?
is a very strong
He
word.
charismaed other people into doing it.
Yeah.
Oh, like about half the people who died in Jonestown did not willingly drink the Flavor Aid.
Yeah.
They were either a child being force-fed the drink, or someone who had no idea what was going on, or someone who was very briefly under the threat of death until they drank it real quick, and then about the other 30% drank it willingly.
Yeah.
Like, that's why it's such a fucked up thing. It wasn't like everyone under, like, you know, that guy's command was like, Kool-Aid, let's drink it and die. No, it was bad. No.
Yeah.
Charles Manson really fucked people up on the inside.
What's the name of the guy who was like drilling holes in people's heads to try to make
Jeffrey
them
Dahmer.
understand? Yeah, Dahmer.
Yep.
There was one guy.
Dahmer.
That guy escaped.
Fucking no, he didn't.
Oh,
He
no, he
escaped for
escaped.
for
Trying
a
to get the
minute.
cops' attention.
And
they
then
were like,
he
and then
was
Jeffrey
like, "This
Dahmer was
is
like,
my
he's my
friend."
gay lover.
Yeah. No, he was just like, "This is my friend," because back then, if he would have said that, then they would have looked into it more. He was just like, "No, this is my friend. He's just fucked up, and I'm gonna take care of him." And they were like, "Okay, okay." What was the other one? That handsome guy who killed all the women. What's his fucking name? Where he would like fake injuries to like get sympathy from women and then like fuck them and kill them. Do you know the one I'm talking about?
I feel like I do, but I also feel like I could be thinking about someone else. You're not thinking about the Cohen killer, are you?
I don't think so. 'Cause I don't think they call him that. Generally, people just call him by his name.
There was also fucking KFC guy. Why can't I remember his name?
Colonel Sanders?
No, there was another serial murderer who like literally got in like good with the cops and like they let him in on the investigation because he was like a pillar of the community and would fucking bring them KFC and would just hang out with the cops and talk about the killings.
That's not the one I'm talking about, but yeah, because the cops like loved him, and when they figured it out, they were just like fucking mind blown. But
Yeah.
no, that's not him either. He's a super handsome guy. Not Jeffrey Dahmer.
I'm just gonna Google famous serial killers.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Or famous, handsome serial killers. I might narrow it down a little bit.
The one I was thinking about was John Wayne Gacy. Are you thinking about Ted Bundy?
Yeah,
John
Ted
Wayne
Bundy.
Gacy was
Ted
the
Bundy.
gay clown.
Yes, but he was all like
He-
before he was in that phase, he was still like trapping and killing people, just by literal like charisma and the fact that the whole community loved him because he would like allow like underage kids to like hang out in the basement of the KFC where he was the manager and would just like, yeah, no, there's like a mini fridge full of beer down there that you can smoke cigarettes down there. I don't care, just fucking have a good time. Have some KFC.
I think you might be mixing two up.
I am
because
not, I promise, because
Gacy owned like a landscaping business or something.
that's where he went after his KFC phase.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I was
but-
like that. He kept hiring young boys to.
Yeah. And he, put them in, like, in the fucking basement compartments of the house he was working on.
Yeah, and then like the smell and everything is what ended up.
Yeah, but no, his father-in-law at the time was the one who essentially got him a managerial position at the local KFC, which is where some of like I don't know if he successfully killed while he was working at the KFC, but he definitely like made some attempts during that time, and a lot of them got away. But because Gacy was also gay, and the kids were like, yeah, no, he like was hitting on us and like tried to get with us. At the time, the cops were like, pfft, whatever, not John Wayne Gacy. Don't slander the manager of the local KFC, you freaking faggot kids.
Yeah.
Which is fucking terrible, but no, yeah, Ted Bundy was that was an interesting
He
one.
was, yeah. In any case,
Yeah.
so
I mean,
I think we solved who Jack the Ripper is. It was.
it was
no.
yeah, it was actually John Wayne Gacy via time travel.
All right, fair.
I mean, which actually would make a sad amount of sense because it was like the fact that he was gay led to like abusive marriages when he like tried to marry women for status. So I mean, you know, a time-traveling John Wayne Gacy could have absolutely become Jack the Ripper with his hatred
Jesus
for women.
Christ, this is what I walk into, a time-traveling John Wayne Gacy. Yep. The Ripper. Alright, this is great.
That would be a fucking dope, like, comic.
Yeah, it would be gay clowns throughout all of Western history. Or at least the last, 200 years.
Yeah. But, no, I mean, like I said at the beginning, no one knows who Jack the Ripper is, so, like, I'm not gonna... Like, I should shout out Frederick Aberline,
shout out Frederick Aberline.
Yeah, the investigator at the time, who was actually doing a really good job at being that forensics in the 1888 was not all that great. He didn't have terribly much to work with, but still historically a very smart man who put a lot of the puzzle pieces together, even though no one ever actually solved the puzzle.
Right.
But he's a very famous chap. But,
Peace got lost.
Yep. But yeah, I enjoyed discussing serial killers instead of the modern world today, which should fucking tell you about the kind of mood I've been in this week, where I'd rather talk about serial killers than what's actually happening in the world.
Oh, yes, because serial killers used to be rare.
Yeah.
Rather than every other fucking day in this goddamn godforsaken country. Yeah.
I mean, scary fact is that it's almost accepted nowadays that, like, there's more serial killers out there than we think there are, but the ones that have gone uncaught are the ones that are, like, freakishly intelligent.
Yeah.
Or because the justice system doesn't work that great, so people just don't get caught. Like, what?
I think a lot of unexplained murders, serial killers and stuff. There's this guy I know. He normally lives in Oregon, but right now he actually just came back up to Alaska. And
Billy Bear, are you a serial killer? You can tell us. No one's gonna believe you.
No, but I remember the one time he kept saying stuff, like he kept clapping his hands together and he kept saying, "I want to kill, I want to kill, I want to kill." And
look, don't bring our StarCraft LAN parties into this. Come on, man.
And the only way we could get him to calm down was to give him like 4 Dr. Peppers, and he would drink all of them at
I don't
once.
even like Dr. Pepper.
You
Are you
that.
admitting? I think you're admitting that it's you, because he would pop 4 cans of Dr. Pepper at once and like smash them together like Stone Cold Steve Austin and drink them. And then he'd kind of settle down for a minute, but like 4 hours later, we just had to give him more Dr. Pepper. He was really obsessed with Dr. Pepper.
Yeah, I mean,
which is kind of what makes me think that he's...
You were channeling a lot of that murderous rage into our StarCraft games in Pete's basement back in the day. So now that you don't really have that anymore...
He went from... The thing is, though, he went from clicks per second to stabs per second.
I mean, that makes sense.
Or clicks per minute per...
Actions per minute?
Yeah.
I mean,
APS.
When I was playing StarCraft, it wasn't murderous rage. It was more like animal predator instinct.
Exactly. You heard it here. Animal predator instinct.
I mean,
he just sees
StarCraft though.
He just sees somebody.
That's why you
time.
played the Zerg, man.
Yeah.
Dude, the 4-ling rush. That was your like fucking apex predator instinct. Like I was sitting over there, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna turtle with photon cannons, and before
the easiest strategy you could possibly do.
I'd be trying to forge rush to get the photon cannons. And they were like, oh hey, look at these lings in your base. We ain't even got one zealot, biatch.
No, we were at the store earlier though, and he kept saying weird stuff. He kept saying like,
well, that's because you were in a retail store, man. Come on, you can't hold
that
against him.
He would see a girl and he'd say, I think that girl's cute. Now buy me some Dr. Pepper. And it's weird. His fixation with Dr. Pepper. That's the thing. If he doesn't get his DP, then he just immediately goes into a murderous rage. Unless you give Dylan DP, and it's really better if there's 2 of you.
Yeah.
And if there's 2 of you and you can both give him some DP like together at the same time, That's where you can really calm him down. But that's the thing. It's like 4 hours later, he gets worked up again, and he'll need you both to DP him again.
Look, man, he says, DP me. And this is straying into Ed Gein territory, and I don't like it.
Me and the boys have to be like, okay, man, we're gonna DP Dylan, right? We're gonna DP Dylan together. We're both gonna do it so that he's calm for a bit. But we gotta DP him, and normally DPing him takes like, I don't know, anywhere from 5 to 10 minutes. So we gotta go DP Dylan, and then that'll calm him down, and that way he won't kill anybody. But if there's nobody around who can give him a good old-fashioned DP, then it's just it gets bad really quick.
Yeah, the 4 Zergling rush.
Exactly. All of a sudden,
the thing about the Forling is that like
here we fucking go.
It's like a strategy. It's like considered like the noob gatekeeper. Like you can't.
If you can't defend against it, then you're a fucking noob. That's the thing, though, is that like he talks about noobs and stuff, but like the thing is he can't. Even,
all right,
he can't even defend against a DP.
Hold on. I never knew how to defend against. If everybody else played Zerg and forward pulled me,
guys,
I would lose.
Guys, listen. Devil's advocate here. Devil's advocate. Look, man. If Dylan gets you and you can't...
Oh, you just now announced Devil's Advocate? You've been that the entire night.
No, look. If you can't defend against Dylan's Forling rush, you fucking deserve to die.
No, like, imagine if you all played Zerg Mirror in four pooled. We'd have just a fight with 4 Zerglings, and then we'd have no economy, and then we'd just have a really awkward game.
Oh, you're going into, like, the deep economics of a fucking StarCraft game.
Why don't we, Okay, we're not getting into StarCraft. It's time to end this.
Yeah.
We have done the subject.
Yeah,
and
the one single
and
fucking subject
thing,
for some reason.
And that's the thing is Dylan while he's talking right now, he's getting extra saucy, and I think we might have to 3P him, guys. Me, you, and Jimmy. We might have to give him 3 Ps, like all at the same time.
That's a lot of carbonation.
I don't think I can handle all that.
Don't.
Wait, what does
don't
P
act? Don't act coy.
Pepper, clearly. I mean, we're talking about Dr. Pepper.
We give him all 3 Dr. Peppers.
Yeah, we all have to give him a Dr. Pepper.
1 or 2
otherwise
liters.
He's gonna lose his fucking mind.
1 or 2 liters.
I mean, normally
that's
2 liters.
That's up to him.
Yeah. We'll give him.
Oh wait, he has choice.
We'll give him whatever kind of.
Yeah, we don't want him to kill us all. Good God, man.
Like 3 DP that he
I feel like I did not go through the orientation, Sir Andy. What the fuck's happening?
Just don't worry about it. Just go along with it. It'll.
I am trying. Apparently, it's wrong. I thought we were raping as someone.
No, we're just giving him Dr. Pepper. We all got to go get him a Dr. Pepper.
With Dr. Pepper.
God, no! Are you a serial killer?
Yes.
Violating someone with Dr. Pepper?
A 2-liter up.
Wait, that's not serial killer.
Wait, just shut up. Don't give him
I'm not a rapist.
Don't
I'm a
give
serial
him more
killer,
ideas.
goddammit.
Don't give him any more ideas.
Yeah.
Alright, boys. It's been fun.
Yep.
Talking about killings and people dying.
And Jack the Ripper has been talked about for 100 years.
Yeah, I mean...
It'd be great. I'm sure we have some unique insights that no one's ever said before.
But this was good. I enjoyed this little mini-sode, as it were. So I might bring it back again. I mean, I don't know.
Should be like the reheated mashed potatoes.
We can talk.
I mean, Ed Gein was always the one that disturbed me the most. So maybe we do our next episode on Ed Gein.
We can do an Ed Gein.
Because, fucking yikes.
More like Ed Payne, am I right?
I mean,
actually, that's so accurate that it hurts. Because he was gay as fuck.
Yeah,
so,
and...
Ed Peen.
Yeah, so I look forward to that, and make sure you don't eat before the podcast.
Yeah, probably don't.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen.
Even if it's with gravy, and that hurts me to say.
Yeah, so thank you for sticking with it. We will see you on the next one.
Maybe.
Phew.